People of Earth, good evening. We are January 22, 2024. Here are the developments of the current galactic events impacting the future of Earth as a planetary civilization. And I am delighted to welcome you for this 14th episode of Star Nation News. After the liberation of the Stemys IV star system from a Ciakahrr open attack in the 5th galactic sector of Nataru, the Gnomopo offensive response on a major Ciakahrr outpost in the 8th sector was followed by a military operation gathering a huge deployment of forces of the Galactic Alliance. The coordinated offensive was directed to 6 other significant strongholds of the Ciakahrr Empire in this galaxy, in the sectors 1, 3, 4, 6, 7, and 8. The Ciakahrr War has officially begun, and it will now only end up when true, durable peace and freedom will be restored. Our galactic mother, Nataru, is evolving in frequency, and it is time for the old conflictual lower vibrations to let go, and the immune system to fight back, as Admiral Tayel explained to us last week so eloquently. As it is always proceeded, I will be commenting and discussing on tactical operations afterwards. When actions have occurred in the meantime, I will keep you updated with the major factual developments on this conflict. Saturn's moon, Titan, has officially welcomed the settlement of a non-military Earth Alliance outpost on its surface. Series B Ciakahrr colons have led a consequent complex of facilities to a large team of Earth scientists, exoarchaeologists, exobiologists, and engineers will begin survey procedures in the upper atmosphere of Saturn in the coming weeks as part of a vast operation of exploration of a planet that was always kept locked and forbidden as long as the Anahim maintained its ownership. As a kind help and guidance, Prince Ea put at disposal of the Earth science team based on Titan a small fleet of shuttles to bring them to key locations on Saturn where ancient cities notably are located. I contacted Prince Ea to ask him what he could tell us about the ancient cities on Saturn and the new exploration campaign. And here is what he answered to me. A very long time ago, as far as this universe can remember, there has been a consciousness roaming the stars. A collective of builder races, living out of the laws of time, roaming the galaxies, leaving behind them a trail of wonder. It is found in the Ciakahrr, the great universal records, that the mysterious civilization, everyone named the Builders, came from another galaxy and that they belonged to a time before this current universe was created. One day, they were here. They erected cities in this star system when life wasn't even developed on Earth. Were they a beautiful pacifist civilization? Were they invaders seeking for new conquests? Nobody knows yet, and most of this knowledge is lost. There is a culture in this star system who is linked to the builders. May they be their descendants or simply related to them. They would not tell. This culture's name is Koldasi. You met them, you know them, and when the time is right, you will speak. The builders left traces of their presence in many places in this star system. The Venus, Earth, Saturn, and Neptune. In the Kuiper Belt as well. These cities are built in a particular material that defies the laws of gravity. Every atom in the structure of these construction materials are vorticial anti-gravitons. These cities are first built in deep space. The materials, in the presence of a gravitational field, such as a planet, find a magnetic balance of forces, resulting in a perfectly and timeless stability that will defy eternity. Unfortunately, no ship can be built in these materials, for it would interfere with the double torsion fields of the engines and the directional commands. These materials are only applied to planetary habitat. Within the structure, containment fields are secured in order to allow bipedal inhabitants to roam around in all comfort. However, regarding the very specific infrastructure of these cities, the builders may not have been bipedal humanoids and could have been floating in non-gravitational fields. There is great technical knowledge to be gathered from the exploration of these cities, and the team from Earth will have immense wonderment in this quest. We will assist them and guide them to find the locations. Some of their scientists may have access to the Mad Kahal if necessary regarding these matters. My ship and the knowledge it carries will be accessible to qualified high-grade personnel of the Earth Alliance if required, and in accordance with the Prime Directive and the cosmic laws transpiring through it. One day, the builders may return. Whoever knows truly the secrets of Imana, the source of everything. Well, my words this week will be commenting on the offensive of the Alliance regarding the Ciakahrr wars. Well, the attack on 7 outposts, 1 in the 8th quadrant and 6 others, main outposts of the Ciakahrr Empire, not all of them, to me is a formidable tactical move. I will restrain to comment in deeper detail about the ways and the agenda of the alliance, but I have, as an observer, to say that the Ciakahrrs weren't expecting this. And I can compare quickly to the ways of the alliance who have used the same tactics in the undergrounds. The Earth Alliance, not the Nataru Alliance, but the Earth Alliance, which is a cell of the Nataru Alliance in a way, when they liberated the undergrounds in from 2020 to 2022, the biggest of the operation was in 2021, when the undergrounds on Earth were liberated from regressive off-worlders. The Alliance proceeded by cutting some areas, working on specific areas only, not attacking the whole network at once, but taking possession of areas sector by sector on Earth until the trap just closed on the regressive invaders. So it was very interesting to observe the same way of doing, that they operate by sectors. And we shall see the Ciakahrr losing forces very, very quickly, because not only the Earth Alliance cut the Ciakahrr from Sol system, but also in other star systems where the Ciakahrrs had an outpost, like an occupation outpost, illegal occupation as it was on Earth. Local alliances with the Nataru Alliance and the Galactic Federation, which is part of it, also were created cells from a long time ago, and all these cells now wake up. You know, it happened at a smaller scale in our star system in Sol, when the Earth Alliance liberated the Earth and the Mars Alliance echoed the same work, liberating Mars. It's the same in other star systems that were occupied by the Ciakahrr. Rebellion had been mounted and supplied by the Galactic Federation of Worlds in weapons, training, forces, boots on the ground on every world the Ciakahrrs have occupied. And this is now at a galactic scale. All the worlds that were enslaved to the Ciakahrr are fighting back, because there is a backup now. They can afford to do it because the Nataru Alliance now is strong and ready with the Gnomopo Negumak who have joined. And now they can finally operate under also the guardianship of the Intergalactic Confederation, who is here to hold space and intervene if and when necessary. So I think it is time everything ends for the Ciakahrr Empire as a regressive, destructive power structure. Nataru awakens. On another matter regarding Titan and Saturn, I was very excited to hear about this because I have been on Saturn. I have seen twice these cities, and it's deeply, how to say, not disturbing, but it leaves an imprint on you. It leaves a trace, because you can never, ever forget this ever again in your life. Dipping into the atmosphere of Saturn is first in itself a great experience, but flying by and going into the clouds, and suddenly you see these floating cities. So it's platforms, and the visuals presented when Ia was delivering his message, that I was reading the message he told me, this is not channeling, I specify always. When you discover these platforms, well, as I say, the graphics was really well representing these cities. It's disturbing because it's here since we don't know when, before everybody arrived here. It was really, you cannot determine the date when these cities were built. It looks like nothing else, no other constructions. It's the same, you see, like floating rocks, and it's same as rocks cut out in buildings, and it's very organic looking, not in structure, but looking, organic looking, and it's floating. So my first impression was asking Ia at the time, because I was with him, he took me in a shuttle to see that. I was asking him, it is that old, but it's still floating. So the technology is still working. Is it a perpetual engine that keeps it anti-gravity floating? And he said to me, no, there's no engine, there's no mechanism. It's the very materials they are built in. That was a shock. Materials that by themselves are able to have the property to cancel gravity, to cancel mass. So these materials have absolutely no mass, zero mass. So that's very interesting. And I understand why the very material cannot be a part of the construct of a spaceship, for two reasons. Because, as Ia was explaining, it would disrupt the mechanism and the navigation, because when you are in a ship that works with torsion fields, okay, to move the ship, you're going to increase the mass by gravitational impulses in some part of the ship to direct the ship. If the material is naturally canceling the mass, you cannot, it's not working, you know what I mean? And also the mass is canceled when a ship enters into warp speed or hyperspace. But for planetary environment, as Ia was saying, it's absolutely relevant. So I have connected the cold as sea when I was on Neptune. Now 2 years ago. 2 years ago I was on Neptune, nearly 2 years ago, and I stayed there for 2 months. This information I have been asked to keep it aside and bringing when the time is right. That's why Ia was addressing to me in his message that I met them, the builders, and I know at the time when the time will be right, I will deliver the information. So you will understand everything when you will have this information. It was interesting how the Nibiru ship will be at disposal of Earth scientists, but high-grade people in the Earth Alliance. That means that there are scientists actually in the Earth Alliance who have a high-grade position, high-level position, and only these scientists can participate to this kind of mission. Not every exobiologist or exoarchaeologist can participate to this mission. You need to be high-grade, already high-level position in the hierarchy of the Earth Alliance. And it was very interesting, so that these specific people will have access to the library of the Mad Kahal. The Mad Kahal on the Nibiru ship, I have had access to it three times actually. And it connects you to basically the Akashic records, the knowledge of the universe, what is recorded in the consciousness of Source. And this is an absolutely amazing knowledge because the builders are before everything was created here. They are not the 9. There's different kind of culture. it is not recorded in the history of this universe, but only traces that they have left everywhere. But it's very exciting, and this knowledge will be shared with the Earth Alliance because it is time we start to cooperate together. So I will see you next week for more exciting news of this star system and of the galaxy. And it is my pleasure to talk to you and find you next week. Have a good one.